Welcome back to the channel, and this is the instant reaction to what just happened between Manchester City and Arsenal. And City were able to take the game to 2-1. And man, I am breathless. What a game that was. It was it was exciting. That it's not a word to describe an Arsenal game in a long while, but it was exciting. It was an exciting match, and yes, largely controlled by Manchester City, and that's what they do. That's what they love to do. They love to control the possession, work their way through the game, and build pressure. And eventually, they're able to find cracks in the defense and slip through. But this game was so much more different to how we played against them in the Carabao Cup final. In the Carabao Cup final, we looked lifeless. We looked like we just wanted to roll over and let City just kill us. But tonight, we fought really, really hard. Um, Defensively, we were aggressive. We wanted to press, and a lot of our best opportunities in this match came from our pressing ability. And I mean, our goal came from our ability to press them really well. We're still probably the best off-ball team in the league, potentially in the world, and tonight definitely proved it. Now, on the ball is a different story. We still need to find that bit of quality on the ball. Our passing is still letting us down. When you compare how City is able to retain possession, how they're able to keep the ball clean, how they're able to ping passes without being intercepted, it's such a night and day difference to how we are on the ball. We're just not able to retain possession when we receive passes, heavy touches, goes out of bounds. We are missing passes. It's just little things, and it just kills our build up. It kills any sort of momentum that we're trying to build into the football game, and unfortunately, that's probably our biggest downfall of this team. We just need more on-ball players. Um, you know, Eze was Eze was great tonight. He showed his brilliance on the ball. He still did get dispossessed a little bit too many times for my liking, and it did cause a couple of opportunities for City. Like, he did get tackled deep in our first half a couple of times, and it led to City breaking away and nearly capitalizing. But other than that, I think he looked great on the left wing. I want to see more of that. If Odegaard is able to keep fit, I think Eze on the left wing is a big answer to our, I guess, ball retention problems. Trossard just doesn't have that power anymore for some reason. He's just lost it. And then, man, Madueke, he can't keep the ball at all. I think Madueke had a pretty poor game, and it's been a while since he's had a good game, and it's somewhat letting us down right now, because in the first half, City were definitely able to get at, and Madueke just, I guess, wasted a couple of opportunities for us. This is a bit unfortunate. But look, we played some exciting stuff tonight. We were brave. Credit to the boys. But it's just the moments, just little moments that we failed, and they were big in the moments. Cherky was sensational on the night, and he just ruined us on the first goal that we conceded. He absolutely ruined us. He dribbles through 3-4 players, fakes Gabriel, is able to evade Declan Rice's challenge, and then gets a really quick shot off, evading Saliba's foot, who's trying to block it under Saliba's leg, and catches Davaraya off guard and puts it in the back of the net. And it's just these sort of goals that we're sort of missing. No doubt Eze can do that, but do we have anyone else that can do that? You look at City, they have abundance of players that can do that. They have so many technical quality on the ball that when they have possession and they're approaching our box, man, it's really threatening, and I think that's something that we're lacking right now. Because man, you know, when Madueke sees the ball at his feet, when Martinelli receives the ball at his feet, it's just night and day to what Semenya, to what Doku can do, to what Cherki can do. It's just night and day. And Odegaard, he's more of a, I guess, a playmaker in terms of passing through the lines. But yeah, we just don't have that. And look, we don't need to have that in abundance, I guess. But we just need that tiny bit more quality from our forwards to be able to give us that end product, I believe, because because this game really, really showed that how much we miss Saka. I think Saka gives us that quality on the ball. And I was thinking maybe we bring on Max Dowman on for this game to help us retain the ball, help us dribble through the press, the block. But too many times we're too willing to maybe play balls, maybe pass the ball, when maybe the better option would be to keep the ball at our feet and dribble through the defense, which is something that Manchester City did constantly. They were especially O'Reilly, especially Bernardo Silva. They kept the ball at their feet. They wanted to run with the ball a lot more, and instead of passing it around. So I think that's something that we could definitely try to work on, I guess. But look, it's late in the season. It's hard to switch up your tactical game plan all of a sudden, just to try and adjust. But look, this game we came in. It's been a while since we came into a game as underdogs. Before the Carabao Cup final, I think it's fair to say that we came in as slight favourites, since City still hadn't hit that peak form yet, and we were not playing brilliantly, but we had good performances against Bayer Leverkusen at that point, and we were still trudging along ever so sluggishly though in the Premier League. But this is probably the first game that we came in as underdogs, and you know what? We lost as the underdogs. It's not that huge of a disaster. It's a disaster in terms of we've let our lead on the Premier League slip completely. And now if Man City do win their game in hand, it's all square. We do still have the goal difference under our belt. So in a sense, we still have control over what is happening. In fact, let me just quickly scan the Premier League table of what the goal difference is like. So actually, goal difference is actually very, very close. We're at 37 and Manchester City is at 36. So we're only leading by 1 goal, and we know Manchester City can score a lot of goals. If they win their game in hand, they'll be right up there, potentially surpassing our goal difference. So actually, in that sense, we might not be able to maintain that sort of advantage. So now the ball is potentially in their court if they win big in midweek. Look, they still have tough opponents, but and anything can happen. And comparing to our matches compared to theirs, we technically have the easier of the matches. Let me just scan what matches are coming up for us. So let me just click on this. Games. So you can see here. So what we got? So we got Newcastle. Actually, that's going to be a pretty difficult match, but they'll be at home. Then we have Atletico Madrid in the midweek. Then we have Fulham at home, West Ham away, Burnley at home, then Crystal Palace away. So if you look at that schedule, not horrible. You know, if we get through the Newcastle game, we have to find a way to win and potentially try and build our goal difference in these games. Let's look at Manchester City's games. Manchester City fixtures. So they have Burnley, Premier League. Let me resize this window. So yeah, Burnley, they'll have the game at the FA Cup, Southampton, Everton away, Brentford at home, Bournemouth at away, Crystal Palace at home, and then Aston Villa at home. So potentially we could be relying on Unai Emery to get us through that, to get us through to the finish line. Yes. Yeah. Look, disappointed with the result. Very disappointed with the result. If we were able to get a point out of this, it would have been huge for us. But unfortunately, it goes the worst possible result that we could have had, a loss. But I am somewhat encouraged by how we played. It was a drastic change to how we've been playing for the past few weeks. So we need to bring that same energy to every single match coming up. And who knows, something might just click for us. This is obviously the toughest opponent that we'll be facing. It's all going to be uphill from here in terms of quality of opponents. Well, I said downhill. You go what I mean. But yeah. In terms of, performances, I think our backline for the most part was okay. I think they struggled a little bit to contain Turkey. Obviously, I think Gabriel didn't have his greatest moments. I think Haaland did get the better of him in the end in terms of the mental warfare, and it did bring out a pretty bad moment from Gabriel where he does a very, very tiny nudge of a headbutt-ish motion into Haaland. And, on a stricter day, on another day, he could have probably been sent off for that moment. Not the best from Gabriel. And he was involved with both of the goals that we conceded. He gets wrong-footed by Cherki. He commits himself to trying to block the shot, but Cherki just evades him, and that's quality from Cherki. Not gonna lie, that's brilliant play from Cherki, and yeah. But then the second goal, he gets out-muscled, out-positioned by Haaland, and Haaland's able to slide in for the finish. So yeah, pretty disappointed with Gabriel. He did hit the post with the header of a set piece of the back post. Unfortunately, it does go off a deflection, which might have actually helped the header, but hits the post and goes out. So not all bad. I think for the most part, both Saliba and Gabriel contained Haaland very well, kept him very quiet. But it's all about moments, and all a striker needs to do is capture that moment, and that's what Haaland did. And unfortunately, in the end, we didn't capture it. But look, still positive. Hopefully, we can finish the season strong, because we need to. Oh gosh, we need to. We are hungry for something. We're hungry for some silverware in our hands, and this season It has to be this season. The way the Premier League has gone so far, the way the Champions League has gone so far for us, we just need something to show how dominant we have been for the majority of the season. Because if not, I don't know what I'd do. Yeah. But anyway, 2-1 to City, and we move. Come on, you Gunners.